You're welcome. And thank you all for coming. So we have already wasted so much time. First, we will go through on the record of the Golden Bee Revolution, what we have achieved so far. As you all know, today is the 1 year since it came to existence. Golden Bee Revolution is founded by Mr. Chorna Alaji Suare, the only person without a name. Mr. Suare, can you stand up, please? Mr. What is your name again? Suare. Mr. Suare is the CEO of Golden Bee Revolution, and is the host of the program that is going on Star TV. Hosting the program, they are calling on young people and even elderly people to come and talk to people to inspire them. You know? So we are going to start by telling you our executives first before explaining what they have achieved so far. So if I call on your name, you can come here, let people see you. Mr. You are part of them, the CEO Alaji Suare. Can you please stand up and come here, let people see you. Mr. Alaji, as I said, is the CEO and the host of the program, Golden Bee Revolution TV show. We have Zainab Jobate. Madam Jobate, can we have you please? Okay, we also have Usman Jaiti, our graphics. He's the man with the camera. The only place the CEO or the host look beautiful or handsome is on the flyers, and is the man behind it. Thank you so much, Usman Jaite, for the role that you have played. And we have Fatou Bintou Toure, the research journalist. Fatou Bintou is here. And we have Kadi Kamara. Kadi Kamara, good. And we have our secretary is absent, is not here. Mohamed Waidabo is the secretary of the Golden Bee Revolution. And also we have another person in the audience, Maud Lamin Pui. Mr. Pui, can you stand up, the tech guy? He has been part of us and he also helped a lot. Thank you all. All right. Of course, I refuse to introduce myself, but I did it earlier. I am Lamin Bibara, I'm the IPRO. Okay. So, so far, under the leadership of our able CEO, Cherno Alaji Suare, the TV show that is hosted at the Star TV, which is meant to give voice and facilitate a platform where young individuals can sell themselves, has so far registered the following success. Because of the TV show that was going on, we have so far registered some few successes that we would like to share with you, to inspire you or also to know what was going on. We were nominated, or the Golden Bee was nominated as the Best Humanitarian TV Show of the year 2020, and it's been recognized serving humanitarian service in the world by Humanitarian Award Ghana. The platform creates a network between top celebrities in the Gambia. And of course, when we say top celebrities, some of you may think we are talking about artists or musicians only, or actors. We are talking about everybody, public figures most precisely, and people that many people look up to. We try to bring them to speak to people, to inspire them, as we are doing it today. The TV show has reached out to more than 100,000 views across the globe. The TV provides counseling service to more than 35,000 people to learn how to make a choice on their career selection and development. Golden Bee Revolution collaborated with Ocean Heroes to sensitize people on the ocean health and beach cleaning. Golden Bee Revolution collaborated with Help Gambia Ocean Heroes, and CSOs to sensitize the Serekunda market vendors and join the cleaning exercise. We got a VIP guide in Who to Blame movie premiere, our contribution to the success of the premiere. That is a movie premiere that was done by Youngsters Movie Production in March 7. We provide scholarship to 10 people to study Information Communication Technology Level 1 in one of the most prestigious institutions in the Gambia called Smart Professional College. We form partnership with Hyperlink Bar and Restaurant, Star TV, Smart Professional College, and MLP Tech Solutions. The revolution is currently taking lead in the sensitization strike to end COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, these are so far what we have achieved in this 1 year, and we are hoping that we will achieve more in the years to come with your support and your help. Now, we have been mentioning all this here because of the support that you have given to us, because of the encouragement that you are giving to us. So we appreciate that, and we promise you that we are going to continue doing what we are doing and improve more on it. And we thank Star TV for allowing us to hosting the program there. And of course, we thank other media houses that are here today to join the celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting too much of time, I would like to introduce Honorable Halifa Sallah as the first speaker. Honorable Sallah, you are welcome.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and that every human being alive has a purpose for living. But that purpose has to be discovered. That purpose has to be searched for. And that is what differentiates human beings from all other beings on the face of the earth. When we come into this world innocent, not knowing, but we cannot live in this world being innocent. We must conquer that innocence, and we can only do so by using our brains to search for that purpose of living. Those who succeed leave a legacy on earth. Not the legacy that we often think of, that is to be unique, to be known by everybody for having done something that everybody appreciates. The important people in life are not even known by the vast majority of people in society. But they are there every day, adding value to the life of others. Can you imagine that doctor who in the middle of the night is on duty, leaving family behind, needing his or her protection, in order to think of the life of somebody else? That requires sacrifice. Because that person sees one thing, that saving that life makes his life, her life, worth living. The job he or she does every day will not be found in the newspapers. The person even passes people every day and nobody knows whether the person is there. Unless you become ill and go into that operation theater, no matter how important you are on earth, it is then that you know the value of that person. That person is living a life of purpose. Think of that nurse who will come to that patient to take care of the suffering and the pain of that person. Carry all the weight of the pain. Share that pain, that empathy with that patient in order to support that person when he or she is the weakest or is in his or her weakest state. To give hope to somebody who no longer have any hope of living and is facing one destiny of going to his or her grave with all the wealth, all the pleasure that he or she may have enjoyed, but at state of weakness and suffering, all that pleasure will be forgotten. All that wealth becomes irrelevant. Only one thing becomes important, and that is life. And what is important at that state is that support being given by that particular nurse, so that one will have more hope and strength to live. Nobody knows who that nurse is. We do not discover his or her story in the newspapers every day. But that day, not one, not two, not three, not four, not 5 weeks, months, years, that person is living a life of purpose. So a revolution is about mindset. How do we think? And if you have a group of people sitting down and feeling that, well, they must do something, rather than just sit down and look at what is happening as if it just must be. But they feel that they can do something to change the course of society, to take a route that will move us greater and greater to a path that will enable all of us to live a life of purpose. Then one must say that after searching for their purpose, they have discovered it. And that one person can change the destiny of humanity. 2 can, 3 can, 4 can even do it better. not to talk about millions. That if we take a path and we are convinced that the path is a path of righteousness, is a path of justice, is a path that adds value, that adds value to society, then we don't need to give up when we find ourselves to be singly committed to that path. We should persevere, and others will join the path, and thousands will join the path, and ultimately humanity will take the path that humanity deserves. That human beings are not destined to live in a state of purposelessness, hopelessness, wretchedness. That's not why we are human beings. It's because of our capacity to think, to be able to understand nature and society, to harness from nature, to harness from society, the knowledge necessary to be able to live better in liberty, dignity, and prosperity is why we are human beings. So our gathering today, bringing prominent personalities who have had their experience, have searched for a purpose for living, and have discovered their own niche in adding value to life, only shows that when you start on the right footing, you will move on that path that will enable you to discover your mission. And in fulfilling that mission, you can bring people together to achieve the goal. The mission is for each of us to have a sense of purpose and direction, and be sovereign citizens with self-confidence, and know that in the division of labor in society, we can also contribute our quota. We are not competing with others, but we are competing with ourselves every day. How can we make ourselves better? How can we do things better? How can we add more so that we add to our society what our society needs to be able to provide for us what we need? We must add to society so that society can add to us. That is the unity between society and the individual. So I will conclude by saying that today, the Golden Bee Revolution aims for each of us to add something to not only help them to continue their journey, but to enable them to open the minds of all, not only in the Gambia, but in the world as a whole, that the journey is the journey of humankind. And they are just playing their part. And all of us must play our part. And if we do, we will add to society what society needs to be able to add to our lives what our lives also deserve. Thank you very much.
you at the same time. Forget about him. He's just having a big head. Okay, so we are going to continue, and the time is not on our side. We are going to welcome Mr. Esa M. Fall. Mr. Fall, you are welcome.
Good afternoon to all of you. My apologies to the organizers for asking to speak out of turn, because I have some other engagement that I must attend to. My sincere apologies. I hope it doesn't upset the program. My first responsibility is really to congratulate the Golden Bee Revolution on their 1-year anniversary. Looking or listening to the achievements they have registered in this 1 year of their existence, not just demonstrates their commitment to helping advance the issues of concern to the youth of this country, but they are asking themselves the important questions that we must ask ourselves every day we wake up. What can I do for my country? How am I going to contribute to the upliftment of my society or my people? Many people don't ask themselves that question. But whenever I see Ousseynou Gambia, I feel goosebumps. Why? Because he demonstrates every day that he is asking himself this fundamental question: what am I going to do for my country? You know, when people see him, oftentimes people just think of somebody who just wants to be out there and be seen, somebody who is just clowning around. But this man is trying to solve one of the most important problems in our country: the sense of nationalism. Everywhere, before I met him, or before I ever saw him, you go to most important institutions of this country, you do not see the national flag. And this is a young man who realizes that, well, there should be a bond between us and what represents us as a society: the flag. If you go to many countries, people embrace the flag. When important events happen, people drape themselves with the flag. But in Gambia, that did not happen. Here is this young man who discovered that this is very lacking in our society. He comes out dressed in Gambian colors. Some people laugh. Oh, who's this one? But this guy is solving an important problem. We must have love for our country, because a lot of the things that happened in this country happened simply because those people had no love for their country. If they did, those things would not have happened. Thank you, Ousseynou, for what you are doing. You bring in this for everybody to realize that this is something that we must embrace. But that same question that he answered is the same question all of us must answer. But whenever the question pops up, people look at it from a completely different angle. Oh, what is it that the government is doing? There are no jobs. Yes, there are no jobs. It is true. The government does not give opportunities. It is true. There are very few opportunities. But also, there are a whole lot more questions that we should also examine. I would not join the beaten track to try to find answers to those questions. Or there are not enough schools, there's no. I would not join that, because these are all facts that we all know about, And these are facts or problems to which we must collectively try to find solutions. But as individuals, as you must wake up every day and do something, or sit at home, if you will, we must individually answer the questions of what are we going to do for our society, or how we must live in our society. We have to answer those questions. As Mr. Sala eloquently stated, you must have a sense of purpose. What is it that you are here for? A lot of people don't answer that question. So I don't come here to give you a prepared speech. I want us to have a conversation. My brothers, my sisters here, we have an honest conversation and talk about some of the little things that inhibit our progress in society. We all know all the things that would make us do well. You know, if you want to be a Halifa Saleh, you want to be a well-spoken, eloquent person, you must have to learn a bit. You must study the dictionary a little bit and know all those big words and, you know, be able to string them together. That is something you must do, naturally. You know, if you want to be a Jato Cisse, you must be practicing with the ball all the time. If you want to be a Messi, like he wanted to be a Jordan, you know, and all these things like breaking a finger and all that would come as a result. But there are these other things that we often do not talk about. In order to solve the problems, we have to be self-critical. But that is not what we do in Gambia. We criticize a lot. We very opinionated people, and that is very good. But the maslaha also is such that there are a lot of things that inhibit us that we don't talk about. Yesterday, I was at home, and some kids just came around. They said, "Oh, Mr. Fall, we saw your car, so we knew that you were here. So, I don't need to why." And I sat there. How do I respond to this? And I asked them, "So, you have to speak their language, you know, you have to speak their language so they know you understand them." Yeah, Bilai, you know something? You have answered my question, you have not said anything. Because the lingo, Bilai, they haven't said anything. But the fact of the matter is, the biggest problem in our society is laziness. We don't want to talk about it because it's ugly. We don't want to talk about it because it's self-critical. We don't want to talk about it because it is insulting. But the biggest inhibition or personal inhibition for our development is laziness. You go around, you see people sitting idly by, doing nothing. They waste the entire day doing nothing. Because they have the luxury of an uncle who would provide lunch. They have the luxury of having a sister in Europe who would send clothes. They have the luxury of a brother out there who will pay the bills. So we become very dependent and just do nothing. And to make it worse, a lot of us would sit there, drink attire and smoke weed. I know this because I lived in that environment. And I lived there with about 15 others. Personally, I had to make the calculation. As young as I was, I made a speech somewhere someday, and I characterized it as good gate and bad gate, where you go to bad gate. I had my uncles there, not the best of examples, very smart guys, very good education, but they chose a different way. And a lot of us are trapped in that situation. You grow up in the street, you see a lot of people who just sit there doing nothing. And you come and you join, you sit there doing nothing, drinking ataya every day. Stop it, my friends. It does not help you. Okay? If you drink ataya every day, all you get is diabetes and nothing else. This laziness must be solved. People say it's as a consequence of lack of opportunity. There are no opportunities. But the thing is, opportunities don't come knocking at your door. Oh, I am Mr. Opportunity. I am here. Come embrace me today. It doesn't happen. You have to go out to get it. So, as you carry on this journey in life, as you ask yourself these important questions, you have to reflect on certain values. Why is it that people fail? We've talked about laziness. Lack of purpose is another thing. You just don't have a clue. What is it that you want to do? What is it you can do? Or what is it that you ought to do? If you cannot answer these questions, well, I'm sorry, but you are likely doomed to fail. I hope all of you do consider these questions. Perhaps, in fact, that is the reason why you are here. Because you want to be able to solve that question. But even in all this, there are certain fundamentals that you must have to succeed in life. My dad used to tell me that there are 3 things that God does not give away freely, just like that. Education. I had somebody say, "Ne, dañ ko sol." I'm not sure that Bopa be facing. Because education is not just like that. You have to learn. God does not just give it like that. You have to work hard and then you get it. And gradually you get it in doses until, well, you are as much as or as educated as you need to be. But this is something that you must strive for. The other is heaven. From our religion, our beliefs, to get to heaven, you have to worship to the satisfaction of God. Which just re-emphasizes or reinforces the value of hard work. Whatever it is that you do, you have to put in the hard work in order to succeed. But in this country, the work culture that I have seen is very demoralizing. Okay, the person gets to work at 9:15 and would take coffee or breakfast until 10:30. They would go out to the market or go visit a friend in another office and come back at 11:30. By the time you browse the internet, it's 1:30, you go for lunch break. And then you return at 2:30. No, in between you go for prayers. So it would be 3 o'clock. Then by the time you start looking at the first file, it is 4 o'clock. Or there is a gente somewhere that you have to attend to. So you rush. When do they work? So this culture of hard work, this culture of having a daily objective that you must achieve does not exist in many quarters in our society. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of hard-working people in this country. If you go up country, you see people struggling under the hot burning sun. You see, working with rudimentary farm implements, trying to eke out a living. Those people are hardworking. But the people that we look up to, the people we think have the education, the people who have been entrusted with national responsibility to do something, unfortunately, there are many amongst them who do not embrace this culture. And that is why it's hard to achieve results. So equally, as an individual, if you are not hardworking, if you are lazy, you are very likely to be left behind, regardless of how talented you are. Sometimes I say to myself, I wish I could turn back the clock of time. You know why? In high school, I played football, I played table tennis, I played basketball in spite of my size. I played football. I also participated in posing around. And I wish I had studied my books all that time, because I have wasted a lot of time. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, involving yourself in all these things is important to making you a well-rounded person. You know, it's important you participate in sports. It is important that you are out and about there so that you can understand life. It's important that you be a bit street smart and all that. But for heaven's sake, don't waste your time on things that are not very important in your development. If you spend all the time you should spend studying, you spend it on other useless things, you get left behind.
Honestly, I'm not prepared to say anything today, but it has to be. Some will call it a career coaching. Some will call it, I came here to be inspired. But how can I inspire you if I can't inspire myself? That would be the first thing to say. But I just don't want to go in details without recognizing the presence of Mr. Sankare, a teacher who taught me how to speak in public. A teacher who will always be there to say, this is not your limit. If you push, you will do it. And I think I did push a little, and today we have this. I couldn't remember my history without meeting Mr. Sankar. I came and I was lost, but he always guided me that, look, you have to have a sense of purpose. And many will be wondering, Keokumba, a nickname, how it came about. I remember one day when I was in junior school and Mr. Sankar was like, I don't know why big head people always think great. I thought maybe it was kind of like a mock, but I understand that he really means it. You shouldn't be here without a purpose. We all have a mission, and the mission is make him happy, he will make you happy. But unfortunately, usually the narration is quite different with some other people here. We believe to be boss and not boss. And one will be, how is that? And it's a very famous quote I always love to use. We want to choose the BOSS and not the BUS. And I am always proud to call myself the BUS. I am that boss who is going to accommodate anyone, drive you to your destination. If I have a wheel puncture, I suffer, but I will make sure that I push you to your dreams. This is a dream I set for myself. It forced me to defer my course at the University of the Gambia, which is probably the highest institute of learning. It forced me to close my mini drugstore where I was earning a living. It forced me to cancel my traveling where I could join my father where he is and make lots of money. But that is going to be limited to myself. I found out that I have a lot to do. Part of this is using my influence. I have a power of creating networking. I can communicate to anyone I want to talk to, and this is something I do because I come to you, I approach you, I talk to you the best way I can to encourage you to join me. And this is possible to bring them here today. No one asked me, give me $1 or $100, but the changes has to start with yourself. Treat yourself well, treat people well, and they will respond to you. And I feel honored you respect our call to teach the young people on how to inspire others. I wouldn't want to close my speech without giving one statement here that is about bullying, which is becoming very, very common in our society. This is something we don't know. In the Gambia, there's what we call Sanawiya. We interact, we joke, we do so many things, but all these traditions and cultures are getting failed because we want to copy the style of people whom we are not. Why are we not proud of ourselves? I keep saying, in order to put the Gambia on the strongest ladder we've always been dreaming for, the change starts from ourselves. You cannot make a change if you don't look into the mirror, seeing that person in the mirror, you change the person first, then you approach people outside. How can we do this? It's very, very simple. Respect yourself, respect humanity. You have to go into sacrifices, have a vision for your dreams, and you will have it. It's very, very simple. You don't need to have $1 billion in your account to inspire people. You don't need to have those luxurious buildings in order to inspire people. You only have to be human. Know the definition of being a human, and you will make it. I cannot just go very far or maybe lengthen my speech here because the moment is them. Anywhere they stand in this world, the Gambia will celebrate. We have these people. Here are the Malcolm X. We celebrate in America. When we have them here, we don't want to recognize them. I have the power to invite other foreign governments who are present in the Gambia here, but that's not who I am. We must celebrate our legends who are here living with us. But instead we are changing Facebook and WhatsApp into a funeral announcing center. All that we keep saying is when a legend dies, RIP, oh, he was really a great son of the country. Why don't we recognize them when they are living, but we only wait when they departed? Are we celebrating because they've gone? Why do we have to celebrate because they've gone when they are with us? We cannot make the best out of it. This is more than $1 zillion stage. It's more than any amount of money you can think of to create this platform here. If they to tell you what they've gone through, you will sometimes feel like in life I have to give up. But just an atom of the challenges they face in their life, if it's explained to you, you will celebrate. Our time, we have the internet. We have almost everything that we look for. Their time, they struggled. It's not available. Communication is difficult. They have to face racial abuses. They have to face some other things that today we are celebrating. Could you imagine in the early 60s or 70s, who is there to go approach a different race to marry with your skin color you have? It's not happening, but today we're enjoying it. That shows that the world is changing in a way that we want to appreciate one another. But they survived during those days. Why not you? We have all that it takes to become who we are. Believe in your dreams, strike for your dreams, and you will have it. Certain Golden Bee Revolution came as a result of being abused. I sent an application letter to a company where I searched for a job. I'm sure he must be watching. I will not mention the person's name and not the company. When I gave him the letter, he didn't even open the letter. Could you imagine? All that he says, like, he get back the letter to me and said, go back and read. Go and learn. Do you think this is a job center? You don't even know what is in my letter. You don't even know the capacity or maybe the content of my documents. You don't even know my career. You don't even know my educational career. You just reject me. And I was going home because I'm someone, I love myself with that, and I want to inspire you to follow that. So that is, be able to manage your anger. Whatever happens, know it should happen. As a famous saying goes, what is meant to be, so shall it be. So I accepted, and I took my documents out. I thought maybe it was part of an interview strategy, where to see if I will get angry easily. So I stood back, I smiled, I gave him again, he threw it on my face. So I accepted. I know that he will reject me, but someday someone will accept me. So I left my documents there, and I stepped out, I started moving. As soon as I got to a public car, going back home, I was sitting with someone next to me, and then this guy was complaining. Gambia mako mo makoi. Gambia hanin fenti mi ala ko funding kel se fon bambandino ko le se fon de mano. This will translate. Gambia, they don't give a stake to young people to showcase their talent. You will have a dream, but you can never realize it. So I said, really? I'm not the only one complaining. So from there, I kickstarted. It was in 2014. So I remember being in my school days, maybe my teachers could confirm that it's not about self-glorifying, but I'm that jealous type. I don't want to see others doing it. And when we are equal human, they have the same limbs we have, we cannot do it. It forced me to go into volleyball. I broke my finger, which is just deformed now. I cannot recover it back. It forced me to play football. I broke my leg, which cost me like 6 months. I couldn't stop because I am too jealous to see that victory comes to where I am. And now the time is Gambia. The challenges has to go. So with this, I said, look, with an experience on playing football, basketball, and with all this struggle, and I'm someone who believes in seeing a victory for my country. What can I do for my country? Then I said, okay, I talk a lot. I am easily there. I can reach to you, talk to you, pursue you into believing in my dreams. Then I was introduced to business training that is done. That was organized by Empatech, mastermind by Gaipa. There I met someone who tells me, if you want to speak to the public, don't look at their chest, look into their eyes, because you have that power that you can do it. And he's no other person but with us today, Mr. Sadi Bujame. I have believed my power in public speaking, but always I struggled. But he helped me to perfect that. And so many other people, because they've been inspirational to me. I keep watching them, I keep watching their videos, I keep watching TV. And I always feel like if they are doing it and they're getting aging, I'm sorry, Uncle Khalifa Salah, that will go to you. I'll be like, if Khalifa is doing it and he is in his late 50s, why not with the teenagers? I took the challenge. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to push it, and the Khalifas are tired now. We need to have more Khalifas. That's why we brought schools here to push it. I wouldn't be more inspired to have known that. Would you mind to introduce yourself to us? Are you the person that did this? Is that a torture or it was a beating? And this moment will go, that forced me to recall the November 11th. From there, the way he talks, the way he handles the mic, the way he questions, I was like, look, he cannot be a better questioner than me. And I said, Mr. Esofal, I have to build something in my mind to at least create a bank of questioning. I'm sorry I'm bothering you with a long speech. I'm trying to build all these scenarios or all these stories to give you a guide where you can develop yourself. It's not only by 30 seconds, not 1 minute, not 1 hour or 1 day, but it has to be, you have to be jealous. If he can do it, why not you? I was challenging Ronaldinho, I broke my leg. It didn't stop me, so I tried to become Michael Jordan. I couldn't go because I had some other defaults. Never stop until your body tells you, you have to stop. So with that, I was like, okay, I think I have to do something. Then I walked into a school called Smart Professional College. The concept was here, but it couldn't come. Like the philosophy will say, it's here, but it cannot come. I thought of like, how can I play with a keyboard to write this concept? Because something is here, I have to bring it out. It has to come, it has to come. It caused me to have a delay in registering my courses at the University of the Gambia. It caused me to have a delay on winning some other things. I said, look, be it I studied journalism or I don't, I will take a challenge, I will go there and I will have to punch it. And every time I go to their office, Smart Professional College, I would have to keep touching every computer. I'll be moving around. People will even mistaken me as the manager there when I'm just there to get something done. And Smart Professional College, I think I've used lots of your cash power. I've used lots of your computer. Almost all of your computers, I have my keyboard and my fingerprints on them. And I think something is being celebrated from Smart Professional College. I cannot celebrate this day without having them with us here to inspire us on the knowledge for computer and also technology. We all love drinking coffee. Coffee time, coffee morning, coffee in the evening. How could you be more inspired without having Senabu Jang with us? Who will go there? I think Usende Gambia will just attest that. Pick you out wherever you are, bring you to the show. I hope you drank coffee when you went there. I think one day if I come there, we'll have that taste of coffee. wouldn't I do justice if I just want to keep talking without mentioning that person who will always be like, I was in a classroom in the University of the Gambia, or one of the auditorium classes, which was English language. And there was a campaign. I was like, they come to disturb our time. But there's someone who works from the back. He was the one to introduce them. And as soon as he took 2 steps, I was looking at that, I said, wow, this guy, the way he works is humble. I hope the way he talks will be humble too. So let's see what he will have. Then I forgot that I was complaining that they are wasting our time. And there I found someone said, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I'm here to introduce my team. And then he mentioned the team, and I was like, can you please mention your name? And this guy was just talking, I forgot that there was English lectures that I should attend, but then I got so much in love with his voice, the way he go with it, the way he was pointing. I was like, I think the election has to be now, I have to cast the vote. Who is not other person but Mr. Kanye. He's been a great inspirational speaker, and I'm just giving you a rundown of them, because when they come, you will just attest that. But for now, just keep it on the left side until when they speak, you'll get the right one. Oftenly, people will be like, in the Arabic school, I will only be Ustaz. We believe that at the Arabic school, or sometimes we will have this mind that, look, only the stubborn kids or the stubborn guys will only go to the Arabic school. Not knowing that you can even become an Arab living in the Gambia. You can copy their dialect. You can be an Arab if you are not even in Saudi Arabia or somewhere else. And this was a dream that someone is telling me, I can have a BA using the Arabic lineage, and I will still have my dreams come true. And this person will be like, look, I can do this, I can do that, but we will be like, can you please do it? And then the person is never showing herself. So I have to take these obligations to force her. And I told them, look, the Gambia is in your hands. Go save your brothers and your sisters, because I'm not counting myself one of them, because I know I have a power to bring you in, and I want you to do the job. And she was like, but this is something I will be difficult. I said, look, you can be that's today's of the Gambia. You can be all those that the Gambia can represent. So go and speak out to your guys. Be an ambassador to them. And she was like, how can I do it? I said, if you have the mic, you will do it. She is no other person, and she's going to inspire me today, who is with us here, Ms. Ramatullah C. Finally, I don't want to take much of your time, because like I told you, I'm not here to inspire you much, but it's all about giving them the stage to inspire you and me. I am learning. I want to grow like you want to grow. It's an obligation to take. You have to ask yourself every day, what have I changed in my life that is impacting other people's life positively? Once you are able to ask yourself these questions, you will build that great human being in you. You will be that boss and not the boss, and you will be that person who will always hear when they cry. Oftentimes at home, when babies start crying at night, we'll be like, it's disturbing, but do we know why they are crying? You can use your handkerchief, wipe off that tear, start the challenge now, you can make it. If you can dream it, you can make it. Nothing is stopping you. I will conclude by welcoming Marie Sibo, who comes all the way from United States of America. And back to then, Mama is calling, Mama is here for you, and the Gambia is here for you. Thank you for joining us, and we have Ms. Saleh, and I have all of you here today. I will conclude by saying, thank you so much. The time is now. We are going to put the Gambia on the strongest ladder. No one else will do it, not an alien, not a jinn, not whosoever wants to come outside to make it. We know our culture, we are the people to do it, we can do it, and we will strike hard to do it. Start your part. Even if drinking is your talent, we are going to drink. We are going to bring you to the stage, Golden Bee Revolutions. You show us how to drink. We will drink with you. We put the Gambia on the strongest ladder. So with that, thank you so much. Let's enjoy the rest of the program.